Right now, live at 11 on the WHAS 1119, we are getting you ready for what could be a record hot day tomorrow. The hottest air temperatures of the week, and we still have a few more days to get through all this before we get a break in this dangerous heat wave. Well, I certainly hope you are okay and cool enough watching us tonight right here on the WHAS 1119. Hi, everybody. I'm Doug Proffitt. Ben Pine is here now to tell us the temperature at this late hour. What is it tonight, Ben?
Yeah, Doug, it is currently feeling like 91 degrees, so just like last night, and temperatures are really not going to be dropping off too much. Low temps in the upper 70s. And today we hit 96. That's the hottest we've been so far this year. We hit that as well in late July, but it looks like it'll be the hottest so far this year tomorrow and Friday in the upper 90s, near record high temperatures. That's why we have the excessive heat warnings for the next couple of days, and that heat index could climb to around 105 or above for the maximum temperatures tomorrow afternoon and Friday. Notice we're right on the edge of the heat wave with it worse out to our west. Still feeling like 102 right now in St. Louis, so it could be a little bit worse. Muggy tonight, low temperature 78 degrees, already 92 at lunchtime. Heat index approaching 100 right around noon tomorrow. And again, climbing well over 100 with that heat index, with the forecast high temperature at 98 degrees. The record high is 99, so very close to that. So still several more days of the heat wave, the worst on the way, coming up over the next couple of days, but we do have some weekend relief and also a rain chance, which we could use as well. We'll take a look at the weekend changes coming up.
Thank you, and it is still back to school week in Louisville, and all new in the night team. It is happening by a few minutes each night. There's improvement to report to the ride home on those JCPS school buses. All students were dropped off tonight before 7 o'clock. The school system announcing the last students were dropped off at 6:59 tonight. Last night, the drop-off time was 7:13. Well, tonight, after school, a group of parents and their students came together in the Newburgh neighborhood. They're focusing on the issues that'll be front and center after the bus mess disappears. WHAS 1119's Taylor Woods and photojournalist Elijah McKenzie talked to parents and one student tonight. Taylor, they had many concerns.
Yes, Doug, it's a collaborative effort to see how they can help support students, families, educators, and schools thrive. Tonight, they discuss possible solutions to help students grow in the classroom and beyond.
What can we do to help students like you thrive?
JCPS parents and students, some who just got off the school bus themselves, tackling topics in education beyond the district's busing crisis.
We are here to support JCPS and trying to figure out solutions to things that have been a problem or a challenge to our families.
Kentuckians for the Commonwealth, in partnership with Heal Together and Metro United Way, have launched listening sessions where students and their parents are sharing their input. And with the recent JCPS transportation disaster, they have proposed possible solutions for buses.
Having higher level like school board members and things like that shadow like bus drivers, so that they can get like a better understanding of like what that job entails.
They're discussing everything from topics like more funding and mental health support, communication between students and educators, to weapon detection in schools. Some students shared they didn't feel safer with the detection system.
But understand from a student's perspective how that could make them feel unsafe. Because if there is a need to have a metal detector in school, obviously they know there's a reason for it.
Elisha Clark and her husband Mandel have been attending these listening sessions for quite some time. They feel these are valuable conversations to help students and families have a better relationship between educators.
Us as parents can engage with the youth and give them the things that they need. That'll be the best way that they can thrive and be successful adults.
Clark's daughter Riel is an 8th grader in JCPS, and this was her first time attending.
Because honestly, it makes me feel really good knowing that we have people that actually try to, do something for Kentucky.
Now, next week, KFTC will be holding a listening session in the Shawnee neighborhood. You can find more information by going to kftc.org. In studio, Taylor Woods, WHAS 1119 on your side.
Taylor, thank you. Good to see the parents so involved. And tonight marks 2 weeks since the first day of school and the last kids got home at 9:58 p.m. Now, 2 weeks later, JCPS Superintendent Marty Polio says he knows parents believe 7 p.m. is way too late, but looking at the trends of previous years, it's about the same.
Taking that our school day is now 35 minutes longer, we actually improved on the amount of time it was to get children home over last year. So I do want to put that in context.
JCPS says it'll continue to work to improve the transportation this year, including cutting down on long routes and in the next 2 days, eliminating unused stops where students haven't been showing up. However, Polio said the district is still considering a total overhaul of this year's routes during the fall break. That's the first week of October.
Do know a full overhaul would be a major challenge and would require us to go through a whole process again. We're committed to doing that if that's what we need, but if we can improve the efficiencies that we have in the current system to the point where we feel very comfortable, then we wouldn't do a complete overhaul. But we will continue to work significantly on efficiencies.
Now, JCPS transports the majority of its more than 90,000 students. However, with the bus driver shortage, Polio says they may need to consider changing that policy in the future. He says a full-service bus system like Louisville's is becoming more rare as other school districts are cutting bus transportation to their students. Now to the controversy involving Louisville Metro Council member Republican Anthony Piagentini testifying in his own defense today in front of the Ethics Commission. Piagentini facing 7 counts of ethics code violations for allegedly leveraging his influence as a local lawmaker to get a 6-figure job with a local nonprofit. Prosecutors argue the job prospect influenced the decision to give a multi-million-dollar grant to that local nonprofit. They say Piagentini knew future employment was on the table from the moment he received a document about it in November. But today in testimony, Piagentini said he only knew about the job offer a few days before he removed his name from the vote.
I mean, yeah, I would be crazy if I didn't say, well, I wonder, if this is related to a job or if what this is related to, right? I mean, yeah, when you see something like that, there's something that's coming right now. At that point, it was unclear to me 100% what it could have been.
Today wrapped up with closing arguments from each side. The ethics testimony, the trial held at the main library downtown. Starting tomorrow, the 7-person Ethics Commission will discuss the evidence in private before giving a verdict. It's unclear how long that decision could take. The last Metro Council person removed from office for ethics violations was the late Judy Green in 2011. It was a who's who of Kentucky's Republican members packing inside the Kentucky Convention Center for one of the party's most important events of the year. It comes during a highly contested race for governor in Kentucky on the line, one garnering national attention. WHAS11 Night Team's Connor Steffen and photojournalist Ian Hardwitt report as both parties are ramping up their campaign efforts.
With less than 3 months until Kentucky's general election, tonight the state fairgrounds intersecting with the campaign trail. During one of Kentucky GOP's biggest fundraising events of the year, the Lincoln Day Dinner, Republican candidate for governor Daniel Cameron doubled down, sticking with the game plan you've been hearing for months.
We will protect our kids from transgender surgeries. We are going to protect women's sports, and we are going to get our income tax rate down to 0 as quickly as we possibly can.
Cameron again took aim at his opponent, Democratic incumbent Andy Beshear, for policy decisions made during the pandemic in 2020.
While he was locking down our schools, he was unlocking our jails.
Also in attendance, former University of Kentucky swimmer Riley Gaines, rallying the GOP audience around an issue which garnered her national attention in 2021.
What they're asking us to do, deny man and woman, it's the essence of humanity.
The issue serves as a rallying cry for Democrats too.
Our state legislature has done a number on women, on gays, on transgender people, and this isn't the way we're supposed to be as human beings.
Just one floor down from the GOP dinner.
Thank you.
Kentucky Democrats were doing what they could to help their party this election.
We're not here to badmouth the other candidate. We're here to promote our candidate.
Brenda Erickson has volunteered with the state Democratic Party at the state fair for more than a decade, but says her work feels more crucial now than ever before.
We have to fight back. We can't let this happen. It's insane what's going on right now. And we have to fight back and say no more.
While there is no governor here tonight, Andy Beshear will hit the fairgrounds tomorrow morning for the annual Country Ham Breakfast. On the fairgrounds, Connor Steffen, the WHAS 11 Night Team, on your side.
This is the 59th year for the Kentucky Farm Bureau Country Ham Breakfast in the Morning. One of these hams you see right here will be auctioned off for charity. They were being judged in this photograph on the opening day of the fair, with the auction winner choosing who will get the proceeds and who's going to benefit from all that money. The auction has raised nearly $24 million for local charities since it began in 1964. More local news on the night team. A man is charged with murder after police in Shepherdsville say he ran down another man with his car. It happened this morning off South Preston Highway on the entrance road to the new Arvado warehouse. Police said the victim pulled in front of David Beck's vehicle, stopped, then got out and stood right in front of Beck's car. That's when police say Beck hit the gas, slamming into the victim. He was taken to the hospital where he died from his injuries. Now, in a twist to this story, Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear was supposed to have a ribbon cutting at that Arvado location this morning. The ribbon cutting was canceled because of the incident, but police say the attack and the ribbon cutting were not connected in any way. A young rider was hurt this morning at the World's Championship Horse Show at the Kentucky State Fair when the horse reared up, fell over, and then died. It happened during show class 130. That's a class with 9-year-old riders. A spokesperson for Kentucky Venues says EMTs evaluated the rider on site before they were taken to the hospital for an exam. An necropsy will be performed on the horse that died to determine how it died. Metro Council members say it is time for action at the Dosker Manor housing complex in downtown Louisville, built in 1968. Amid concerns about mold, lack of AC, and bed bugs. They say the Louisville Metro Housing Authority needs to take action now. Council members Tammy Hawkins and Ja'Cory Arthur say they understand that Mayor Craig Greenberg's office inherited this issue at the start of the year, but say these residents need immediate help. Our team was allowed inside some of the units today. Here you can see bugs, mold in the bathrooms, and leaking drywall.
I talked with a constituent earlier who lives in Dosker Manor who said she doesn't expect things to be perfect or pretty. She just wants things to work.
We got black mold. We got our bathrooms is coming down.
Council members say they're going to come up with a timeline for action items, but they did not give many specifics. In a statement, the Louisville Metro Housing Authority says they received reports of mold in 3 units last Friday and, quote, no indicators of mold were identified. On the bugs, the Housing Authority says exterminators try to inspect every unit quarterly. They say, quote, in the 2 units that complained of bugs last Friday, only minor indications of bugs were identified and proper treatment was provided, and follow-up will be scheduled as needed. They encourage any resident with maintenance concerns to report it right away.